Hi everybody, welcome to the 84 Lumber Mike Tomlin Show. I'm Missi Matthews. Hi everybody, welcome to the Extra Point presented by Microsoft Surface, and welcome to the Matchup Show presented by Unibet. The Steelers' bye week is over. It's time for Week 10 in the second half of their 2022 season. Playing on Monday Night Football means all eyes are on you. Quarterback Kenny Pickett talking about cashing in when the Steelers are in the red zone, and Dale, it's something that has plagued them these last few weeks. They've worked on a lot of stuff during the bye week. How do they fix this so that they are able to score points?
Coach, you never shy away from adversity. Road stadium, starters playing for the Jacksonville Jaguars in the weather. How will this help you guys evaluate this team?
Cam, take me back to Atlanta, the game. You guys were able to stack wins. That's huge. But knowing how much it meant for your family, what emotions are you still feeling from that? How do you carry that aggressive mentality, momentum into the second game after you guys were on the field for 43 minutes?
When we come back, we'll talk about the Falcons and what they've been able to do with a record of 5-7. Missi, let's go back over to you.
Thanks, Bob. And even with their current record, Atlanta is only a half game behind Tampa Bay in the NFC South. Pittsburgh, however, is sitting at 4-7 and in last place in the AFC North. Coming up later in the show, Merrill Hodge draws up a playbook to show us how the Steelers can slow down the Falcons' run game. That and much more right after the break. Sunday marks the 32nd meeting between Mike Tomlin and John Harbaugh, including the postseason. Only George Halas and Curly Lambeau have met more times as opposing head coaches. Coach Tomlin has a 17-14 advantage and is looking to extend the lead. And for more on how the Steelers can do that, let's send it back over to Coach and Bob. Guys. All right, our thanks to Bob and Mike for that edition of Agree to Disagree. Let's get back to some more of our social media, looking at what fans are saying about number 7. Steelers Nation Unite said use hashtag #ThankYouBen to send in your favorite memories, moments wearing your Steelers jersey. And as you can see, we have from young to old to beaches, just showing true love, similar to what we saw on Monday night, his final game at Heinz Field when the Steelers beat the Browns. So a lot of great stuff. Again, you can check that out on the Steelers social and digital platforms as well. But we know what Ben meant to the Steelers organization and to the NFL, so let's take a look at some of the numbers that help describe his successful career. All right, welcome back inside our studios. I'm Missi Matthews with Matt Williamson. You just heard Steelers general manager Kevin Colbert, head coach Mike Tomlin, talking about the 20th overall pick, selecting quarterback Kenny Pickett out of Pitt. And so take us through, Matt, what you've seen from him so far. Kevin Colbert talking about, staying in college an extra year and how that helped him. Use your scouting and give us the lowdown.
Well, I mean, in the scouting world, gathering information is unbelievably important, and quality information. And they're going to know more about him, and he's going to know more about them than any relationship really in the entire draft.
I am joined now by Mike Prasuta up here on set. That was wide receiver Deontay Johnson. And you heard him talking, Triv, once again about ending with the 2-minute drill and just the spirit that we heard from the offense and defense split up on separate sidelines.
Oh, that was incredible. It was loud out there, and all the players who weren't participating in the drill, they were getting closer and closer. They started on the sideline, and then everybody's inching their way out.
Ever since Heath Miller retired in 2015 after 11 seasons in Pittsburgh, the Steelers have tried to replace him on several occasions. It appears using a second-round pick in 2021 on Pat Freiermuth finally did the trick. And appropriately enough, Freiermuth wore cleats with number 83 on them last Sunday, the same weekend that Miller was inducted into the team's Hall of Honor. When is the first time you heard the fans chanting it where you're like, wait, are they talking about me?
Camp, I think one of the times I caught the ball, they started chanting it, and I was it was low, it was barely any people, and I was kind of confused, but caught on pretty quick, and I like it.
What about during games? Are you noticing it? Is it kind of just something that's just there now?
I definitely notice it. It gives me energy after making a catch, and I love it.
All right, you scored a touchdown against Cleveland.
Touchdown, Pittsburgh! Pat Freiermuth, the Penn State rookie.
2 against the Bears.
The second of the game for Freiermuth. And what a great connection it was between Ben and Freiermuth.
Does that mean we get 3 this week?
Hopefully it's whatever's in the game plan, I hope. So we'll see.
When you heard that you were a Steeler, Coach Tomlin's the one that called you. It looked like you were bending down, you couldn't hear. Take me through, that night.
Yeah, as soon as I saw the phone number, I knew it was, what the call was. That was more me breaking down and just emotionally, just overcome with emotions. Just all my hard work paid off, and it was special to have my family there with me.
All right, you know this bench well.
I do.
Coach Tomlin sat here a few times with you?
He did. I mean, I would come off and I'd take my cleats off and I would watch practice. So that's where kind of we would bump into each other and just have a couple minutes of conversation. It built over those 5 years.
You're forever going to be connected with Dan Marino and what you were able to accomplish at Pitt. I know you have a relationship with him. So how has that helped you just get prepared to enter the pros and now that you're staying in Pittsburgh with the Steelers?
Yeah, just having the time to talk to him before the process started. He gave me some great advice, and he's someone I know I can reach out to, if I need any advice moving forward. So it's definitely a great connection to have.
What did you take away from your first performance, your first go-ahead?
There was good, bad, ugly, a lot of stuff to learn on. A lot of stuff a lot of stuff and different looks and different things that I might have not seen in practice. But overall, I think I was prepared well with Pat, Zach, and then Coach Fredo helping me out a lot. And without them, I wouldn't have been able to be successful on a lot of plays. And the plays that I didn't do so well on, there's a lot of teach tape that we can go back and look up on. And a lot of stuff was just about the details.
You said good, bad, and ugly. Can you give me one example of each?
Good would be the pass Mitch had to me when I came across the middle. And he put it in a spot that only I could get it with the corner trailing me. And then bad would be me jumping off sides, just eliminating the mental errors and pre-snap stuff. And then the ugly, I wouldn't say there was really much ugly, but I'm always just hard on myself. And I always just try to be my best every play.
I know you guys are focusing on the Patriots, but when you reviewed the game from the Bengals, why were you so successful? 7 sacks as a defense.
I think we just had the mentality to just start fast, and I think that's something that just as a defense we wanted to come in, especially to the Bengals games, because the last 2 times we went in there, just wasn't the best result for us because we didn't start fast. I think both those times, I think they scored on the first drive, and so we knew that we needed to get off to a start fast. And Coach Tomlin always says that rushing coverage works together, and I think this past Sunday was just a testament to that. Just us 4, just up there rushing as hard as we could every snap, and then the guys on the back end holding it down. They did a great job of that, and so I think some of those sacks, of course, were because of those guys holding it down in the back end.
You surprised it was the Steelers, or did you maybe have a hunch as they were coming up with that pick?
I wanted to come here, so it was a no-brainer when I got that call from Pittsburgh. So it was like I was more waiting on it, just time. So it was just all God's timing as well. So just was blessed when I first got it.
Why'd you want to come here?
Coach Dunbar. He's a fantastic coach, and he has ties with my defensive line coach at A&M as well. So, just when we first met, it was just automatically clicked.
Hey guys, Minka Fitzpatrick, Deontay Johnson, Chris Boswell, all 3 guys won't be playing tonight but did get their contract extensions done. Minka Fitzpatrick started a little slow in training camp due to a wrist injury, but once he got going, he's been having a lot of fun going against wide receiver George Pickens, the rookie you guys had mentioned. He said he is talented and has all the possibility in the world, and as you guys said, everyone's excited to see number 14 going against a different team tonight.
Well, Coach Tomlin not pleased coming out of the locker room after halftime, guys. He said it was junior varsity play across the board. He said he's giving Dwayne Haskins a chance to collect his thoughts. He is going to start the first series for the Steelers to start the second half. Then he'll turn it over to Josh Dobbs. Said he thought the defense did start out strong but slowly fizzled. Wants everybody to play better in the second half. And you guys were just talking about Marcus Allen. I am told he will not return to tonight's game. He's dealing with a leg injury. Guys, back upstairs to you.
All right, Coach, we had a chance to see Mitch Trubisky and Mason Rudolph. What did you make of what they were able to do with their opportunities?
They made some plays. Obviously, we left some plays out there. I just like their communication, their leadership, and some of the intangible things that they displayed in a small body of work.
Who will start the second half at quarterback?
Kenny Pickett.
In terms of the running backs, we saw a lot of Anthony McFarland and also Jaylen Warren. What did you like about them?
They won some one-on-one circumstances and came out of some tackles. Jaylen put the ball on the ground once, and that's totally unacceptable. But I like the fact that they're winning those one-on-one confrontational matchups.
Mitch, you guys had to settle for field goals to start in the first half, but you got into the end zone. What changed for you guys as an offense?
I think just the mentality and execution. We wanted to finish with a score in the first half. It's tough. They out-executed us in the red zone, and we wanted to finish with a score. We did that in the first half, but you got to come away with some type of points in the red zone. We want them to be touchdowns. Boz did a heck of a job making those field goals today. So we just got to come away with points, be a little bit better on third down, be a little bit better on the red zone. So we'll go back and watch it, but it comes down to execution. We just got to make the plays.
What was it like having Najee Harris out there in game action tonight?
It was awesome. I love watching him run. I got to keep carrying out my fakes. I can't be watching him breaking tackles and stuff. So he's a heck of a player. We're happy to have him back, and we just got to get back to full strength, get back healthy, and get this regular season kicked off.
For you personally, what did your performance mean tonight?
I just wanted to come out here and run the offense well. We wanted to score some more touchdowns, but we came away with field goals in the red zone. The end of the first half with a touchdown, which is nice. I just wanted to come out clean, get some completion, spread the ball around, and have a little bit better execution. We need to clean up the penalties and the flags as a whole, but I think we're coming together and we're headed in the right direction.
All right, Mitch, thanks so much.
Appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
Talk to me about the defense and just what you've seen first go around for that unit.
Yeah, saw some good things early, got some sacks, didn't get enough turnovers. And then we got to stop the run a lot better. Guys got to rally to the ball. We got to run to the ball and just be more stout at the point of attack. And we got to get better at that.
Are you looking forward to just one more week of camp left before you guys can break and come back home?
I'm not looking at just one more week. This is the time where we got to have some urgency and just really attack this week because we can't get that time back. So hopefully we can take this film and learn from it and try to get better from it.
Hopefully you do better at Jenga. Thanks for your time, Cam. We've just sent it back to Bob and Charlie now.
No, we're not ending on that. I won at Jenga. The only loser is Najee.
Dale, another Steelers rookie on defense who got a shout out from TJ Watt and a number of guys in the locker room was DeMarvin Leal. What did you see in terms of his improvement, knowing, he was used more when TJ was hurt, but coming off of IR, he's been more of a part of the Steelers defense?
Yeah, and I mean, as a third round draft pick, you know what the pedigree is for DeMarvin Leal, and he gave them that extra big body in there in a lot of those situations that was able to take on that Ravens front, which, I mean, when you've got the 5 offensive linemen and they're really 6 with Patrick Ricard, who is a 300-pound fullback, and I thought the Steelers did something smart last week. They used Kendrick Green. They put him in a Patrick Ricard jersey, basically, and had him practice as Ricard all last week, getting that movement and things. So guys get used to attacking a 300-pounder moving at you like that. But Leal filled the gaps, and he's a guy, they ask him to drop into coverage at times. They ask him to play inside, outside, and he's done a really nice job of that and really gives you some hope for the future there on that defensive line.
All right, well, Week 18 still matters for the Steelers. 3 things happened yesterday that they needed to in terms of staying in the hunt for the playoffs. That, of course, was cheering for New England to beat the Dolphins. Seattle beat the Jets, and they took care of business on Sunday Night Football. So what needs to happen this weekend? They would need the Bills to beat the Patriots, the Jets to beat the Dolphins, and then, of course, take care of business against the Browns. And welcome to the matchup show presented by Unibet. The Steelers bye week is over. It's time for Week 10 in the second half of their 2022 season. The New Orleans Saints are coming to town. Let's welcome in Mike Pursuta of the DVE Morning Show and also Steelers.com. And we also have Dale Lally, a Steelers.com contributor as well, and also on SNR to talk about it. Mike, let's start with the Steelers offense. You heard there from quarterback Kenny Pickett, but one of the things that they need to get back to is running the ball. So are the Steelers rested and ready to run?
They should be rested, ready to run, stay tuned. But yeah, I think that's got to be job one, resuming things after the bye.
Well, if Coach Tillman always talks about the year 2 jump going from your rookie year where your head's spinning, you haven't stopped playing football for almost a year and a half, 2 years. What do you need Kenny Pickett to improve on as he heads into year 2 now?
Oh, it's the chunk plays, the explosive plays, the ability to be able to trust his arm, his eyes, and his knowledge of the game and be able to go after a little bit more. But I had got no qualms at all about being conservative this year and giving the young man the opportunity to find success and to build up success upon success. And to do so, you're going to make that second jump. I think he made it in the Raiders-Ravens game at the end. I mean, we saw exceptional quarterback, and we saw a guy set an NFL record, if I can just repeat that, throwing a touchdown pass in the last minute to win the game of 2 consecutive games, and being able to do so under the most adverse circumstances. Let's take the Raiders game. It's -10 wind chill. You know, you've got the pressure of the Immaculate Reception, a game 50 years in the making, the Raiders and the Steelers here at Acrisure. And then you got to lay it at the feet of this rookie quarterback and go, okay, guess what? We need you to go down and get a touchdown to preserve what we can of this weekend, because we lost Franco, one of the greatest of all the great Steelers. All that pressure is on you, and the kid delivers. That says something.
Let's move on now to the wide receiver position. And Dale, being, as we've talked about, Kenny Pickett kind of being thrown in there, becoming the rookie starter eventually, how do you assess wide receivers knowing that he didn't get a ton of work with guys unless it was a Connor Hayward or George Pickens, the rookie group that he had a lot of reps with since minicamp?
The NFL draft is a tool that can be used to build for the future or to cash in on the now.
And it's intercepted down on the Steeler 26.
The Steelers tested each approach over 2 decades, from 1957 to 1979, with wildly different results. You're about to hear how the team's draft philosophy shifted from then personnel director Art Rooney Jr. and some of the Super Bowl winning players who were there.
Forbes Field in Pittsburgh, the Steelers Ottman fumbles. Jerry Cowig snatches up the loose pigskin and romps in to pay dirt. And making the final score, Eagles 34, Steelers 13.
My dad was a diehard Steeler fan and would lament every time in the third and fourth quarter where they'd play tough and then finally lose the game in the fourth quarter.
The Steelers were not very good football team.
And splits the uprights with a 33-yard field goal. It's a heartbreaker for Pittsburgh.
To shake up the same old Steelers in the late 1950s, owner Art Rooney Sr., affectionately known as the Chief, hired 2-time NFL champion coach Buddy Parker to become the 11th head coach since the team was founded in 1933.
He was a brilliant coach and made great use of the projector, the films and that stuff, and probably was kind of early in that. He said, you have to remember a couple of things. Get the great quarterback and some good receivers for him to toss the ball to, and the rest of it. The rest of it is defense, defense, defense.
When Buddy Parker parted ways in the 1965 preseason, he was the winningest coach in the brief history of this franchise.
Too much work to do in a day to get that much sleep.
And when it comes down to it, I'm trying to stay as close to East Coast time as I can. And if I get up at 4, it's really 7. So that's a good time to work out.
Steelers outside linebacker James Harrison is preparing for his 16th season in the National Football League. His career already includes 2 Super Bowl wins.
Gonna be picked off, James Harrison. He's running up the sideline, and that's a touchdown for Pittsburgh. An amazing play.
And several team records.
And it looks like Harrison with the sack, an all-time Steeler record.
The 39-year-old is also known for posting his intense workouts on Instagram.
I'll follow your workouts on Instagram.
Inspired by the legend himself, James Harrison, man, Mr. Jim. I do what NFL players do.
Those workouts don't stop in the off-season. While most players find time to relax, it's the exact opposite for Harrison. And it all starts at the Danny Center, where he has spent the past 7 off-seasons.
I'll try and make my off season harder than the regular season. And that way when the season starts, it's a lot more comfortable for you.
He does so much work, so I've got to do a lot of holding onto the reins, trying to hold him back so he doesn't burn himself out. So there's always a little bit of a push and pull there, getting that done. And then there's the challenge of just changing things constantly enough that they're fresh, adapting around some of the things you have to do when someone's 39 years old.